Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Welcome to Dreams to Keys Realty. I am Jalon Strong, the Essential Millennial Realtor of Dreams to Keys Realty, and I am so glad to see you all once again for another morning on YouTube as well as TikTok. I am on both platforms as I usually am. So welcome on both platforms. Hopefully you are ready to learn some information that would help you if you're looking to buy a home, particularly in the state of Georgia. So we're going to review some Georgia assistance programs that help toward home ownership, where you would need no more than $1,000 toward your down payment. So we're going to get into that, but first we've got to do a few things. So we're going to start with, of course, just letting you all know this is our channel. So this is our YouTube channel. Make sure that you follow us, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any information. And also on TikTok, make sure that you're following so that you can get connected with us, stay connected with us, and the information that we share on this channel. Now let's go into our link in the bio highlight of the week. And we've been doing this for a couple of weeks. Today's link in the bio highlight of the week is our DIY credit repair kit. The DIY credit repair kit is something that you can use, as the name infers, to do yourself to help fix any credit issues or credit report issues that you may have. So we encourage people to look at your credit report before you allow anyone else to, so that you know what's on there and that you can make any adjustments, or at least pinpoint what adjustments would need to be made or what errors are there should you be in the process of looking to buy a home or any other type of property where credit would need to be pulled. This DIY credit repair kit helps you to outline what is wrong or what is inaccurate with your credit report. It also helps you to tailor communications, particularly with letters, to the creditors as well as the credit bureaus, to help correct those issues. One thing I want to mention to anyone who is looking to buy a home is to discuss the issues with your lender first, because sometimes the corrections that we make to our credit report could hinder or could affect our ability to buy a home. And that may not be our intention. We may not be intending to, let's say, decrease our credit score at the time in which we are looking to buy a home, and certain actions can do that. So you want to talk with your lender if you see issues, and let's talk to them early so that if you're looking to buy a home, at the time that you're looking to buy a home, that you're not faced with these issues at that time, that you have some space and opportunity to make adjustments ahead of time of your home purchase. One of the things that I like to point out to anyone that is interested in working with us is that you don't have to wait until the last minute or at the last point in which you are ready to buy a home. We are open and available to cultivating relationships in business. So we are open to, if you need credit assistance, we have people such as our lenders to help with that. We have kits to help with that, such as our highlight of the week that we're mentioning, the DIY credit repair kit. So we have assistance there, and we have people motivated to help you, and they're motivated to help you for the long haul. So you don't have to just contact us when you are ready to buy a home that second. You can contact us 6 months in advance, a year in advance, and say, I want to buy a home, but I know I have some issues with my credit report and I would need to work on some things, or I think I would need to work on some things, but at some point, I want to be a homeowner. And we are willing and ready to work with you on that process. So don't feel like you have to wait to contact Dreams to Keys Realty or myself to get started towards your home ownership journey. We are here for the long haul. We're here to help you along the process. And this is one of the ways that we do that. So in order for you to get to our DIY credit repair kit, you can go to the link in our bios and you will see a link that will take you to our Beacons page, and that will help you to see what we have for all the services that we offer. And you can find our DIY credit repair kit there, and you can purchase it from there. Also, you can make sure that you go to our website, which is dtkrealty.com, which is D as in dog, T as in Tom, K as in kite, realty.com, which is short for Dreams to Keys Realty. And you can go there, go to dreamstokeysrealty.com/shop, and you will find not only the DIY credit repair kit, as well as other ebooks and merchandise. And we're going to get into one of the benefits of being on this live today toward those products and merchandise, because you guys are going to get some information no one else may get based on just showing up to the live. So it matters to show up, it matters to pay attention, and it matters because that gives you access to things everyone just doesn't have access to. Or they may, but they just don't know it. So that was our link in the bio highlight of the week. Make sure that you check that out. Next, we're going to our consultation process. So we have free consultations at Dreams to Keys Realty. A consultation is a time where you speak with me one-on-one for no more than an hour. So it could be as little as you like or as more as you like. I will cover some material on what it means to work with myself and Dreams to Keys Realty and our brokerage that we are up under, or that my license is up under, and if that makes sense for us to work together. So it is an interview process, if you will, for us to decide if it's a good fit for us to work together. That process is free. However, if you schedule it and you don't show up, there is a $15 no-show fee. So make sure that you're serious when you're scheduling, that you make adjustments if you can't attend the initial scheduled time that you planned, that you reschedule so that you can avoid that $15 no-show fee. We really want to make sure that we are talking to people who are serious about home ownership and this process, and it could prevent us from reaching certain people as an opportunity to talk with them if you take a space and you don't honor it. So we are affording you the $15 the free consultation, but it's a $15 no-show fee if you do not attend. All right, so I just mentioned that you have a benefit for showing up today, and one of the benefits is that you now know that if you go to our website, dtkrealty.com/shop, if you purchase anything for $20 or more, so $20 has to be your minimum subtotal, then you will automatically get 20% off until midnight of 11/11/24. That is an automatic discount. You don't need a code, but you would need to purchase at least $20 worth of merchandise as the subtotal to get the 20% off discount up until midnight of 11/11/24. So you can go to dtkrealty.com/shop right now. You can get the shirt that I'm wearing, which is My Dreams Have Keys. I believe yours do too. I'll show YouTube just so you can see the shirt, My Dreams Have Keys. You've probably seen it on our TikTok shop and also on our website, but the code is only for our website. It is not for the TikTok shop. So make sure if you want to utilize this discount that you go to dtkrealty.com so that you can get the benefits up until 11/11/24 at midnight. So that's your incentive for showing up to the live today. And we're going to get started on YouTube sharing some information. If you're on TikTok, make sure that you go to the link in our bio, click that link, and at the top, you'll see some icons for our social media platforms. Click the YouTube one so that you can go to our live, and make sure that you're following along with us. I will be sharing some documents and websites that if you want to see those exact documents and websites, that you want to go to YouTube so that you can see them for yourself. It's quite difficult to do that with TikTok. It's much easier to do it with YouTube. So go to our YouTube page and check that out now. You can also check it out on the replay if you feel that that is a better time to do it. But we'll have this up, of course, after this live. So today, like the title says, we are going to be talking about buying a home for $1,000 down or less, with specifically tailoring to the Georgia assistance programs. So let's start with one program such as the Georgia Dream Standard, or many people would just say Georgia Dream. But what many people don't know is there's various branches under Georgia Dream. So we're going to talk about those today. So I'm going to share my screen momentarily, and we're going to get to the Georgia Dream Standard program first, and then we'll move to the other two. We also plan to cover the Home Stretch program of Gwinnett County. So we have a lot of ground to cover. Like I said, TikTok, if you want to see that, you got to go to the link in the bio, click that link, and click the YouTube icon at the top. All right, so let's go to presenting mode. And I'm going to start with give me 1 second. For some reason, it's not giving me the option for the one I want to use. Hold on 1 second. Let's try this again. Okay. So now we have the Georgia Dream Home Ownership Program flyer up on the screen. Hopefully you all can see that. So we're going to move pretty briefly. I'm going to start reading from the opposite direction that I usually read. I'm going to read the right side, which is the program overview, and then talk about the criteria, which is on the left side. So the Georgia Dream Home Ownership Program provides assistance and funding for eligible first-time home buyers. Often the biggest obstacle to home ownership is being able to afford the down payment. Georgia Dream can help qualified borrowers clear this hurdle. Down payment loans are available for first-time homebuyers or homebuyers who have not owned a home in the past 3 years, or those who purchase a home in certain areas who also meet a set of financial criteria. Potential homebuyers apply with participating lenders for Georgia Dream loans. The loans are secured or guaranteed by FHA, VA, USDA-RD, or conventional uninsured loans. Once the lender has completed the process and gives credit approval, the information is forwarded to DCA for compliance review and funding approval. Rates are available for participating lenders. Borrowers must attend and complete either a home buyer education workshop, individual housing counseling sessions, or an online home buyer education course through eHome America. Okay, so from that, we know already that this process this loan option offers down payment assistance for first-time home buyers, and that these home buyers are considered first-time home buyers if they've never purchased a property before, but also if they haven't purchased a property within the last 3 years. So for a lot of people may not know that you can still be eligible for this program if your last home purchase was more than 3 years ago. So that's something to keep in mind. It's another thing that's also beneficial, that you can use this for government, along with your government-backed loans like FHA, VA, USDA-RD, which we've talked about some of those on this platform already. But you can also use this with conventional uninsured loans. So there's really no limit with what you can add it with. but you have to meet certain approval. Credit is still something that is considered. We still need lenders in this process, and lenders are utilized as they are in any loan for home ownership to help complete the process, review credit, review information, and make sure that the borrower meets criteria. Every borrower for this loan program must attend some type of home buyer education workshop through eHome America, which could be through a workshop, through counseling one-on-one, or an online home buyer education course. So there's 3 ways that you can get that accomplished. Now let's talk about what the financial criteria is and what type of down payment assistance that is offered. So they mentioned with the criteria for the financial criteria that you have to have a household income up to the maximum. And of course, that's based on the area and the households, the amount of people in the house, as well as have a liquid asset of no more than $20,000 or 20% of the sales price, whichever is greater, and meet mortgage loan credit requirements. So again, this goes back to the lender, making sure that you are credit worthy and they have their own process of protecting this loan process. So what this brings home is that there is down payment assistance. In order for you to receive down payment assistance, they need to see that there is a need, which means that if you already have the amount of money accessible to you to meet your down payment, then you wouldn't need down payment assistance, which is why they specified the liquid assets. So you have to show in some way that you don't have enough money to put 20% towards your sales price, or have at least $20,000 somewhere in your bank account that you can access for a down payment, because this is for down payment assistance. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Now, this became effective February 8th, 2024, that the amounts were temporarily increased with the following limits. So they have 3 different tiers. There's a standard tier where you would qualify if you're an eligible home buyer for 5% of the property purchase price, or a maximum of $10,000, whichever is the lesser amount. If you are what is coined as a PIN, which is protectors, educators, and nurses. So if you're a public servant in some of these fields or areas, or if you're active military, then you would receive 6% of the property purchase price, or a maximum of $12,500, whichever is a lesser amount if you are an eligible home buyer. If you are a choice home buyer, which means that you have a member of your family living with a disability, then you would have that same 6% purchase price, or a maximum of $12,500, whichever is the lesser amount. So the PIN and the choice have the same percentage or dollar amount as the maximum. So that's something to note. 5% for all eligible, or a max of $10,000. If you're PIN or choice, you can have 6% or up to $12,500, whichever is less. All right, so that is the Georgia Dream Standard, the Georgia Dream Home Ownership Program. And you'll see more why I keep saying standard, because we're going to talk about the others. So I'm going to now Dream Peach Plus. So let me get to that one. All right, let me make sure that it will allow me to share properly. And what you'll notice is that the Georgia Dream Peach Plus is quite similar to the standard. Okay. Not sure why it disappeared. All right, I think we have it now. So you all should be able to see the flyer for the Georgia Dream Peach Plus loan program. And once again, TikTok, I want you all to know that you can go to the link in our bio, click the YouTube icon, and find us here on YouTube, where you can see everything that is being shared along with the YouTube family. All right, so what I will do is kind of keep it consistent. I'm going to read the right side and then address the left so that we can get the overview and then get the criteria. So, the Georgia Dream Peach Plus loan program expands access to affordable home ownership opportunities across our state by serving a wider range of borrowers, including those with non-conforming loans. This program helps make the dream of home ownership a reality for more Georgia families. Often, the biggest obstacle to home ownership is being able to afford the down payment. Georgia Dream Peach Plus can help qualified borrowers clear this hurdle. Down payment loans are available to home buyers who purchase a home in certain areas who also meet a set of financial criteria. Potential home buyers apply with participating lenders for Georgia Dream loans. The loans are secured or guaranteed by FHA loans once the lender has completed the process and gives credit approval. The information is forwarded to DCA for compliance review and funding approval. Rates are available for participating lenders. Borrowers must attend and complete either a home buyer education workshop, individual housing counseling sessions, or an online home buyer education course through eHome America. So already from this, we have learned there are some differences between the Georgia Dream Standard and the Georgia Dream Peach Plus. So here we see that there is no indication that you have to be a first-time home buyer. We also learned that those that have non-conforming loans could use this program potentially. We know that this is for down payment assistance, and we know that this can be secured by FHA loans. They do not mention any other loans. Once again, we know that lenders must be involved in this process to help not only make sure that the process is done correctly, but they check for credit approval, which they always do, and which we need them to do in this market or in our process of home ownership. Rates are available from participating lenders, same as with the standard. And the borrowers, just like with the standard, have to do the education process in the same ways, either the workshop, the individual counseling, or the online homebuyer education course through the specific company or organization, eHome America. So we've already designated that there are some differences between the standard and the Peach Plus. So first-time home buyers, what we've learned is that the standard is tailored toward first-time home buyers. Both programs offer down payment assistance, and we're going to see from the left side of this document more about what criteria is needed to be potentially eligible and what type of assistance can be offered. So the financial criteria is to have a household income up to the maximum, and it's the same language as it was with the standard. And we will talk about in the brochure, once we get to reviewing all three, what maximum means. And of course, that is relevant to the household size and the location. The other criteria is to have liquid assets of no more than $20,000 or 20% of the sales price, whichever is greater. That matches what we talked about with the standard program. Also, we must meet mortgage loan credit requirements. So credit is something that is impacted throughout any home ownership loan. And you have to be able to address that with the creditors or the lenders. I'm sorry, not the creditors, but the lenders. And if you have issues on your credit report, as we mentioned with the link in the bio highlight of the week, that we have a DIY credit repair kit that can be used if you have credit report issues or credit issues that needs to be resolved, should your lender approve that resolution if you are starting in your home ownership journey. So credit is a factor, credit plays a role. We need lenders to approve this process. It also goes to DCA for review, which is done for the standard program as well. So it has to go through review. This program has to be with FHA. So if that's something that you aren't open to, if that's not the loan option that you are looking to use, if you're not open to an FHA loan, this may not be the best program for down payment assistance for you. Now, this one has a different effective date. So effective April 15th, 2024, the amounts of each loan type are set to the following limits. We see that all eligible home buyers may qualify for a standard of 3.5% or 3.5% of the property's purchase price, or a maximum of $10,000, whichever is lesser. When we looked at the standard, Georgia Dream standard loan option or program option, we saw that the maximum dollar amount was $10,000 there, but here we see that the percentage is lower with 3.5%. And again, we're looking at the lesser amount between the two. Looking again at the PIN criteria, we see that the percentage is 4%, and the purchase price, 4% of the property's purchase price, or a maximum of $12,500, whichever is lesser, and that is the same for the choice. So there are some differences in the percentages of down payment assistance, and once again, it has to be the lesser of the two, the percentage or the maximum dollar amounts. So the maximum dollar amounts did not change for each of those options, but the percentage did change, and it's less for the Peach Plus than it was for the standard program. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys with using standard, because there's standard when we talk about down payment assistance, but there's also 3 different programs that we're covering. And I want to make sure that you guys don't confuse the programs, because they kind of all have the first couple of words in their naming has Georgia Dream in them. So I don't want you all to just say the Georgia Dream, the Georgia Dream. I want you to understand which program we're discussing. So it's of note to say that we've already covered Georgia Dream, which is we're referring to our standard program, and we've covered the Georgia Dream Peach Plus. Georgia Dream Standard is more tailored toward first-time home buyers, or those who have not purchased a home within the last 3 years. That program can be coupled with other loan options, such as those secured by the government, your FHA, your VA, your USDA, RD, as well as your conventional uninsured programs. Now, with the Peach Plus, you can have non-conforming loans, but you also would need to make sure that it's guaranteed by FHA. The creditors are, I'm sorry, I keep saying creditors. The lenders are front and center as far as reviewing credit and the process, the terms, the rates, as they always are. You have to go through the lenders. So they are on both programs equally doing that. And the borrowers on both programs have to go through some education. And the education types are the same. They can either do a workshop, a online education course, or individual counseling, but it all must go through the eHome America organization. We noticed that there are some differences between the down payment assistance numbers as far as percentage, but the maximum dollar amount based on each tier did not change. So they are the same on the maximum dollar amount, but different in percentages for the tiers of the down payment assistance. So that's what we've learned thus far. So there are some benefits if you are looking to buy a home, but you just don't have the money for the down payment. Here are some programs that can help you or help someone that you know. So make sure that you get the word out. There's people that always someone that you know that's talking about a home, even if they say, I'll wait till next year to buy a home. Home ownership is in the conversation of some group that you're a part of. So make sure that you share this live, that you get that person that's interested in home ownership connected with us in some way, even if they're just following one of our social media platforms, so that they can stay connected when they're ready to make the decision to own their first or next property. Now we're going to discuss the Georgia Dream Peach Select. Now this is not a down payment assistance program. So this is a bit different than the other two. The other two had more similarities, I would say, but let's get to this one. All right. We're about to present the Georgia Dream Peach Select. And if you're watching, make sure that you tap the screen on TikTok, give me a thumbs up on YouTube, or even a thumbs down. Just give some type of indication that you're here, and tap the screen on TikTok. Let's see some likes, let's see some hearts. We're giving information about how you can buy a home with little to no money down, $1,000 at the most. So we'll get to more of those details later on in the live, but we're almost there. So let's get to our Georgia Dream Peach Select program. Hopefully you all can now see it on the screen, the Peach Select Veteran Assistance Loan Program. And I will do just as I've done for the other two, read the right side and then the left. The Peach Select Veterans Assistance Loan Program, tailored specifically for veterans, offers a low interest rate with no down payment assistance provided. They put no in capital, all capital letters. Those two letters are capital. This program is an extension of the Georgia Dream Initiative aimed at making home ownership more accessible for all Georgians. The first-time home buyer requirement has been waived for this program. Loans are available to those who meet a set of financial criteria. Potential home buyers apply with participating lenders for Georgia Dream loans. The loans are secured or guaranteed by VA loans. Once the lender has completed the process and gives credit approval, the information is forwarded to DCA for a compliance review and funding approval. Borrowers must attend and complete either a home buyer education workshop, individual housing counseling sessions, or an online home buyer education course through eHome America. So here we know there's no down payment assistance for the Georgia Peach Select Veterans Assistance Loan Program. As the name dictates, it must be secured or guaranteed through the VA loan. This program does not require that the borrower be a first-time home buyer. Loans and rates are going through the lender to make sure there's credit worthiness. We'll review the financial criteria in just a second, but the buyers must also attend education. They have the same options as we discussed with the standard and the Peach Plus. They can either attend a home buyer education workshop, an individual counseling session, or an online home buyer education course through eHome America. And eHome America is the only organization in which the education courses would qualify. Now let's go to the left side and look at the financial criteria and the program itself. So the financial criteria is have a household income up to the maximum. We'll talk about that in the next document, and meet the mortgage loan credit requirements. And the lender is helping to do that coupled with the VA loan. So we talked about the VA loan in a different live. So make sure that you like this video. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. I appreciate that. Like this video on YouTube and go to our channel because we've discussed some of these programs before. And I'll try to go back on the replay and add the link for the discussion of the live where we talked about the VA loan process. But it all for this loan must be for veterans or those that qualify on the VA loan process and meet those credit requirements. Now, let's look at this program in particular. It says aims to increase assistance Georgia Dream provides to veterans by offering more favorable terms and conditions, including low interest rates, $500 minimum investment for home buyers. So let me just point out for this live, we're talking about a maximum of $1,000 as a down payment. This program specifically is $500 minimum investment for a home buyer. That's not the maximum, that's the minimum. And we'll talk about some other aspects and programs that have a different number. But for this one, the minimum is $500 that you'd be expected to invest toward this home loan process. 100% loan to value ratio, so they're covering it, covering the loan for the purchase of the home. The minimum credit score that you would need for this program And let me draw attention to one thing. We did not discuss credit score minimums for either the Georgia Standard or the Georgia Peach Plus. For the Peach Select Veterans Assistance Loan Program, the credit score minimum is 640. So that's something to note, that we did not discuss a credit score minimum for any other program. Only for the Georgia Dream Peach Select Veterans Assistance Loan Program is the credit score minimum 640. Down payment assistance is not offered. However, the Peach Select Veterans Assistance Loan Program can be combined with other DPA, which is down payment assistance programs that are not connected to the Georgia Dream Home Ownership Program. So even though this program is not offering those that would utilize it any down payment assistance, they're not prohibiting you from using any other program where you could get down payment assistance. So what that could mean is, maybe here you need $500 minimum for this home buying process, but you could get another loan coupled with this, or another program coupled with this to cover that $500. So in a way, there is potential there to have zero down. Does that make sense? The potential is there to have a zero down payment, but you would need to couple another down payment assistance program with this one, or somehow receive those funds needed to cover the $500 minimum. And that's something that, should you have an issue with the $500 minimum, you definitely want to discuss that with the lender, because they can be aware of that, research more programs, they can better advise you on how to handle gift funds and things of that nature, because they not only have to look at this program, but they have to look at the VA loan process. There's only a certain amount that you can receive with certain loans from the other side of the transaction. So if you're buying a home, there's only so much that a seller can contribute depending on the type of loan that you have. And that could be impacted with how much you would need to bring to the table. So like I said, I'm going to go to the replay and add in the link for where we talked about VA loans, so that we can kind of review that again when it comes to what that criteria is separate from this. But there is potential here where you may not need anything down should you couple this loan program with another one that covers your minimum $500 cost. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, what I will say about down payment assistance programs is that they have terms. They all have terms. So you want to be able to honor the terms of the program. It's not that it's just free money. There are some terms to it when you get any down payment assistance. And we'll talk a little bit about that with the next brochure. So hopefully that was some good information that would help you if you're looking to look for down payment assistance to buy a home in the state of Georgia. This is the Georgia Dream that we are discussing. And we're now going to compare all of those three programs against each other so that you can kind of better see what it would mean if you wanted to choose either option, any one of the options. So I'm going to pull up the brochure to best help with that. So we can talk in a comparison of what we have previously discussed. And I'm going to go to the top so that we all know where we are. Hopefully you all can see that we are looking at the Georgia Dream Home Ownership Program. Excuse me. So the participating lender, they can have access to this number, and that website provides more information. The Georgia Dream Home Ownership Program can make it a reality. This program offers affordable mortgages for eligible home buyers. And I guess I should have read the question. Ever dream of owning your own home? The Georgia Dream Home Ownership Program can make it a reality. This program offers affordable mortgages for eligible home buyers. All right, so now we're going to look at the financing options. So we talked about eligibility a little bit, and we're going to go into, as you see a little bit at the bottom, requirements for eligible borrowers. But let's start from the top and work our way down. Georgia Dream Standard, which is why I kept saying standard in the beginning of the live onward. The Georgia Dream Standard provides down payment assistance to eligible first-time home buyers. And because we read that flyer, we know that that doesn't mean that you never bought a home before. This could be your first home purchase, or you could not have purchased a home within the last 3 years and still meet eligibility on that level. I'm sorry. And now let's look at the Georgia Dream Peach Plus, which offers down payment assistance to home buyers with a wider range of both income level and sales price, or who may not meet other loan program requirements. So some people may have non-conforming loans, but we did see with the flyer for the Peach Plus that you needed to use the FHA loan process, whereas the standard, you can pretty much use any of the FHA, VA, USDA RD, as well as conventional loans. So there is some difference with the loan options that you have there, but the income level and the sales price and all are wider with the Peach Plus. So there's pros and cons to using either. And when we talked about the Peach Select, that is for active duty or veterans with a low interest rate loan option, and there is no down payment assistance. However, you can find a down payment assistance program and couple it with the Peach Select. All right, so we've learned a lot thus far. Now let's go to how the loan specifications are outlined against all three of these options. So looking at the loan specifications, we see that all have a 30-year fixed rate. So if you were anticipating a 15-year fixed rate, then you would have some issues with using any of these loan options. So we are looking at 30-year fixed rates. The ones that would use FHA are the Standard and the Peach Plus. We gathered that from reading the flyer, so that's not surprising there, right? Now, the one that we use, the USDA RD loan, is just the Standard. The ones that we use, the VA loan, are the Standard or the Peach Select. We gathered that from the flyer. The one that would use the conventional loan would be just the Standard. We gathered that from reading the flyer. The down payment assistance, we know from the flyers that it's just the Standard and the Peach Plus. So hopefully that none of that was a surprise. The only thing that we probably didn't cover before was the fixed rate of the 30-year fixed rate. And so that's covered here. The rest of it is pretty much what we gathered from the flyer. Now let's focus on the requirements for eligible buyers. We talked about, let me scroll back up so we can see the Standard, Peach Plus, and Peach Select. So the first-time home buyer is eligible only for the Standard. The household income limit max is based on location and family size and moves across all three of these loan program options. The liquid asset limitation is a requirement of no more than $20,000 or 20% of the sales price, whichever is greater, and that applies to the Standard and the Peach Plus. So there was no limitation when it came to the Peach Select, and that we also saw from the flyers. The mortgage loan credit, so we talked about that in the flyers. So there is a mortgage loan credit for all three programs. So this would be impacted towards your mortgage. The home buyer counseling, all three have the same options of either the education workshop, individual counseling sessions, or online coursework with eHome America. So pretty much nothing is a surprise there, but just wanted to make sure you all were able to see the visual and to understand what it means. Now let's look at this map, which is talking about targeted areas. And the Georgia Dream Home Ownership Program is available to eligible first-time home buyers in all Georgia counties. However, if you purchase a home in one of the targeted counties or in a targeted census tract, you do not have to be a first-time home buyer. Now, the lenders are going to be the best to make sure that we have the most updated information, and that's something that they also put next to an asterisk here. But you'll see some that are in green, and then you'll see some that are in white. So I'm going to pinpoint the counties that I cover. I cover Gwinnett, Fulton, and DeKalb. So I see that all three are in white, which makes me think that because of the notation at the top, that you would still need to be a first-time home buyer in those counties to be able to utilize the Standard program. And we already discussed what first-time home buyer means for this program or the Georgia Dream in general, it means that first-time home buyer means that you've never purchased a home before, or you have not purchased a home within the last 3 years. So that's what we're talking about. Now, this map could have increased in the amount of counties that have changes to that, but we depend on our lenders who are approved with the Georgia Dream program to help us better understand that, if there are any changes. So let's look at the maximum purchase prices and household incomes. We discussed this with each flyer, how there are certain maximum financial criteria that is mentioned in the Georgia Dream Standard and the Georgia Dream Peach Select. And that's what they notate here. This is reflecting those two. So what we're seeing here is that it's based on the area, the purchase price, and the household income. So I'm going to pinpoint the counties that I cover: Fulton, Gwinnett, and DeKalb. They're all within the first row, which says Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Roswell, Georgia, HUD, or HUD Metro. The purchase price that you cannot exceed in those counties to use either the Georgia Dream Standard or Peach Select is $425,000. So the purchase price, what's agreed upon when there's an executed contract, cannot exceed $425,000. So what does that mean? Even if you have a pre-approval above this number, if you want to use this program in these counties, then you cannot exceed the purchase price of this number, $425,000. So you may have approval more than that, but in order to use this program, your purchase price cannot exceed that number. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's not a bad thing if you want to purchase a home lower than your approval. You may get better terms with the lender, ideally. So that's not a bad thing, but just be aware that there is a maximum purchase price that is for the purchase when you're using the Georgia Dream Standard and Peach Select. There's also a household income maximum. So if you have 1 to 2 people in your home, the household income cannot exceed $120,439 if you're in this area. So that HUD metro area, which covers Fulton, DeKalb, and Gwinnett County, as well as additional counties. If there's only 1 to 2 people in the home, the household income cannot exceed $120,439. If there's 3 or more people, it cannot exceed $138,505. For Athens, Georgia, there are certain counties that this document covers for, again, the Georgia Dream Standard and the Peach Select. And let's say Madison and Morgan County, your purchase price for these programs cannot exceed $375,000 as the maximum purchase price. If your household income is for 1 to 2 people, it cannot exceed $101,429. If it's 3 or more people, it cannot exceed $116,644. So we see that the higher purchase price and household income limits are for the HUD Metro, the Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Roswell, Georgia, all those counties that cover those areas. As I previously mentioned, I, as a realtor, cover Fulton, Gwinnett, and DeKalb counties. So those counties are covered in that area, and they have the highest purchase price maximum and household income maximums out of this chart of areas. So we talked about that area, the HUD Metro, the Athens, and all other Georgia counties. The purchase price cannot exceed $360,000. If you have 1 to 2 people in the home, the household income cannot exceed $92,000. If it's 3 or more, it cannot exceed $105,800. So those are those maximums that we kept referring to when we looked at the flyers. It depends on your household income, your area, and the purchase price of the property. So those are things that it matters. Your lender is going to help tailor discussions. And that's why you want to make sure that your lender and your realtor are a team, because your lender has to say, hey, we really want to make sure that your client gets the best opportunity to purchase this home with little money down, and he or she qualifies for the Georgia Dream Standard or Georgia Dream Peach Select. But the stipulation is if they're buying in this county, which they've noted that they want to, then they cannot have the purchase price exceed this number. And with their household income, I've looked at that, they already qualify. But make sure that when you're drafting any deals, trying to make any offers, that you bring back that point to the client that the purchase price cannot exceed this number in order to keep this loan option or loan program. So that's why it really matters for your lender and your realtor to be a team. And that's why a lot of us have preferred lenders, because we gathered some business relationships and established some relationships where we feel like we would be able to best help our ideal clients. So keep that in mind when someone says, hey, I have some preferred lenders that I want to introduce you to. And they're doing that because there is some relationship there that can benefit you at the end of the day. And of course, use your discernment, pay attention, use your discernment, ask questions, be open to feedback about limitations, because a lot of this is laws and programs, and there's rules governing how things can be done. So definitely ask questions, but also find people that you trust to help you in this process. Let's see some taps on the screen on TikTok. Let's see some hearts, some likes on YouTube. We're almost done here. We were going to cover the home stretch program, but I think we'll cover that in the next live because we're almost done with the Georgia Dream. So let's cover the rest of this, and then we'll do the home stretch for Gwinnett County on another live. So the Georgia Dream Peach Plus has different limitations. And what you can notice right off the bat is that the numbers are higher for the Peach Plus than any other program. May I remind you, the Peach Plus is where you're using the FHA loan. You do not have to be a first-time home buyer. And we have termed that, according to this program, first-time home buyer means that you've never bought a home or you haven't bought a home in the last 3 years. So Peach Plus, you don't have that limitation. You can use non-conforming loans, but it must be secured with FHA. So those are just some things to bring back to your attention. If you missed this live, go to our link in the bio, click our YouTube icon, check us out on YouTube. You can get the replay, and you don't want to wait too long to go to YouTube because we have already given a discount for our products that are specific to those who are paying attention in our live, so that you can get that automatic discount. So make sure that you go to our YouTube channel if you're on TikTok to catch this information. We're going to wrap up here shortly, but for the Georgia Dream Peach Plus, same areas. For the HUD Metro, we see that purchase price cannot exceed $525,000. Household income for 1 to 2 people cannot exceed $180,000. $180,659. For 3 or more people, it cannot exceed $207,758. So those numbers are about $100,000 more than they were for the Peach Select and the Standard. So it matters the program and the maximums that you can be allowed. The Athens, Georgia area, we see the purchase price cannot exceed the same number that we saw for the HUD Metro, the $525,000. We did not see that for the other two when we reviewed those maximums. And for the 1 to 2 persons household maximum, we see $152,144. For the 3 or more people, we see $174,966. It's a lot more there. So there's a lot more leeway in all of that for the Peach Plus when it comes to the maximums. All other Georgia counties, we see $475,000. If I'm not mistaken, that was the same number. Oh no, I am mistaken. that number is still higher than the maximum was for the HUD Metro, for the Standard, and the Peach Select. So all of these numbers are much higher when we look at the Peach Plus. And when we look at the household income for the Peach Plus and all other Georgia counties, 1 to 2 people in the home, the maximum household income is $138,000. It was $92,000 when we looked at the Standard and the Peach Select. And with the 3 or more people looking at the Peach Plus, we have the maximum household income of $158,700. So those are some encouraging numbers. That's some encouraging information to know. And lenders are really beneficial and vital in helping us stay abreast of any changes. So we definitely want you to be comfortable with your lender, talking to your lender, getting advice from your lender on loan programs and options. Down payment assistance. So often the biggest obstacle to home ownership is being able to afford the down payment. The Georgia Dream Home Ownership Program can help qualified borrowers clear this hurdle. Getting tongue-tied here. So eligible borrowers, looking at all 3 options, and this is down payment assistance. So we already know the down payment assistance is only offered for the Georgia Standard, Georgia Dream Standard, and the Georgia Dream Peach Plus. Up under that program, they both have down payment assistance. Up under the down payment assistance, there are these 3 tiers: Standard, Pin, and Choice. We discussed what those were when we started the live, when we read the first flyer. So eligible borrower for Standard is any eligible borrower. For PIN, you must be a protector, educator, or nurse with those certain occupations. Active military will also be included. And there is further information in on the website for Georgia Dream. And also the lender can provide more information on those eligible occupations. So sometimes you'll talk with your lender and they'll say, what do you do for a living? And they're gathering information about you that they can also look to research what programs you qualify for. So be open to telling them a little bit about yourself and your occupation. They're not trying to pry, they're trying to benefit you. They're trying to get information that would benefit you and benefit your home ownership process. So be open to that. The choice eligible borrowers are if your household is eligible, if anyone in your household has an eligible disability, and there are sections to outline what those would be. The Georgia Dream Standard, we talked about the percentages: 5% for Standard, max of $10,000, whichever is the lesser. The PIN, 6% of the purchase price, max of $12,500, whichever is lesser. Choice is matching the PIN. The Georgia Dream Plus, we saw the dip in the percentage to 3.5% of the purchase price, max of $10,000, whichever is lesser. The PIN and the Choice have 4% of the purchase price with a maximum of $12,500, whichever is lesser. And the Georgia Dream Peach Select does not offer any down payment assistance. However, you can add a down payment assistance program in conjunction with using the Georgia Dream Peach Select. So when we talked about this live being $1,000 or less of a down payment for a home purchase, we see the note that says a borrower must contribute a minimum of $1,000, and that's for those that are denoted with the number 1 next to them, which are the Georgia Dream Standard and the Georgia Dream Peach Plus, and $500 to the purchase, which is with the number 2 next to it, which is the Georgia Dream Peach Select. So if you are someone who says, I want to buy a home, I don't have enough savings, I'm not even sure how much to save, let's get in conversation. So 1, let's schedule that free consultation. It's free $99, free for you to schedule the consultation and attend it. So make sure that you schedule consultations. The link is in the bio so we can talk. And that way I can connect you with the lender. The lender is going to talk with you also. And this is prior to any credit pulling or anything like that. Just talk with them and see where your options are. You may be at a position where you can only save a little bit. And for these options, you don't need a whole lot. For some people, it may not take them long to get $500. And if they qualify for this Georgia Dream Peach Select, that is the minimum. And also, as a reminder, the Georgia Dream Peach Select is a program that does not offer down payment assistance, but will allow you to use another program to couple with that if you need down payment assistance. Essentially, there is the potential that you do not need anything should you qualify for the Georgia Dream Peach Select and a down payment assistance program that could pay the $500 needed as the minimum for the Georgia Dream Peach Select. Hopefully that made sense. Now, for the Georgia Dream Standard and Georgia Dream Peach Plus, the minimum that you need to bring to the table is $1,000. And that could be something that maybe you decide to get gifted from someone you love or someone you know. And also, when it comes to gift funds, make sure that you discuss that with your lender so that you can make sure the proper process and handling is done so that it could be accepted. And also, you may decide to do a down payment assistance to couple with that. So there are things that can be done. There are ways that your loan programs can be structured to benefit you to where you're paying the minimum to get toward your home purchase. The biggest thing that I want to bring out to your attention is that, it's beneficial for you to save in general. It is beneficial for you to save. And like we read with the Georgia Peach, Georgia Dream Standard and Georgia Dream Peach Plus, there are limits on how much you have accessible to you as far as liquid assets or money in the bank that would affect your eligibility for this program or these programs, those two. But should you not even come close to that, you could still utilize these programs and also ask questions. If someone is willing to assist you, if there's another route you need to take, there's so many programs that we don't utilize and don't know about because one, we don't ask the questions, we're not willing to engage in conversation, which is why we offer the free consultation. Engage me in conversation and make sure that I am aware of your concerns and that also the lender is aware of your concerns so we can address them early on and make sure that they're minimized. So if it's a credit concern, if it's a down payment assistance concern, it's a financing concern, if it's a location concern, let's talk about those things. There are remedies, so many remedies out there. There's so many organizations out there, just like we have here with eHome America that is doing education, and that's a requirement for all three programs. But make sure that you speak up for your interest. No one knows what you need until you make it known. So make sure that you speak up for your interest. That way people know what you need and how to best help you. So I'm going to open the floor for any Q&A. Of course, you can at any time leave comments, even in the replay, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. The best way, especially during this holiday season, and I'm going to talk about our business hours just a little bit. We're a little bit over time. We typically like to end around noon, but the business operations will be a little different for the holiday season. We will not be in the office receiving calls as much during the holiday season. During this time, we will be vamping and revamping for the next year. We'll be doing different projects and strategies such as education within our office. There are certain continuing education as a realtor that I will be doing. So we will be out of the office at times during the holiday season. The best way to make sure that if you want to speak with me or get a consultation is to make sure that you go to the link in the bio, schedule a consultation time. There are many days available. And the sooner the better, because the moment that you don't schedule it, it could be filled up with someone else, with another business engagement. So make sure that you do that as soon as possible. Those are free consultations. And if you do not show up, there is a $15 no-show fee because we must be serious about our opportunities and who we allow access to for help. So if you don't need the help, please do not take the time away from someone else who does. So during the holiday season, we won't be in the office as much, but we will still be paying attention to our consultation times, and we will still have those consultations should you schedule them. So make sure that you go to the link in the bio, click the tab that says Let's Talk, and schedule your consultation at any available time that fits you best. Now, this is the last reminder that there is merchandise available on our website which is dtkrealty.com/shop. And for you all that have come into the live, you've been paying attention, you're here, you will know this before, or if other people do or not, that there is an automatic discount if you purchase $20 of products from our website, not TikTok Shop, but from our website, dtkrealty.com/shop. You will get 20% off until midnight of 11/11/24 if you purchase $20 worth of products. You could purchase an ebook, a shirt, whatever would get you to the $20 of a subtotal, and then you get the 20% off at checkout. So make sure that you do that. We would love to see you in our we would love to see you at our website, in our shop, and we would love to see you wearing the shirts like what I'm wearing today, which is the black shirt with the white lettering. We have different shirts, different colors. So look around, check out the images. We have hoodies, sweat shirts or crew necks. We have the black shirts with white lettering. This also comes in other colors. But we also have the black lettering. So make sure that you get your merchandise. There are ebooks there. There's so much that you can buy or use. And we hope that you use it to the benefit of your home ownership journey, that you feel motivated, that people that you know that are interested in home ownership know the information that we're putting out. Make sure that you share this information, share these lives, share this link, share our link in the bio, save the link in the bio, because we update that every time we get new information that's beneficial for our ideal client. And we want to make sure that you get to it as easily as possible. So that's our live today. Sorry we ran over time today, but I did want to make sure that we covered the Georgia Dream process in totality, and we can talk about the Gwinnett County Homestretch program at a later date. But thank you all so much for your time. I'm Jalon Strong, the Essential Millennial Realtor, and thank you for tuning in to Dreams to Keys Realty. I hope you have a blessed weekend. I hope that if you are looking to buy a home, that you consider Dreams to Keys Realty, that you consider myself as your realtor, and that you schedule that consultation so we can talk and make sure that we get connected so that you don't miss an opportunity to be a homeowner. I hope you have a great weekend, and this is bye-bye for now.